Brandon.
Hey, Hannah.
Welcome to Update Sunday, where we talk about ghosts really fast. Sunday.
Welcome to GhostWritten. This is a podcast about ghosts. Let me tell you about this one ghost. All right, bye. Woo.
That's podcast. Bye, guys. We missed our April Fool's Day thing again, where we just have Tyler and Bradley pretending to be us.
Damn it.
I know.
Why do we always forget about that?
I don't know. It was also on like a Tuesday or something.
Yeah.
No, it was on Friday. Because today is April 3rd.
Still. Damn.
It'd be fucking hilarious.
I hope everyone has had a good weekend. I hope you didn't get punked too hard on April Fool's Day. Some people get real serious about April Fool's Day.
I love all the stupid shit that companies do. That's my favorite part. The really dumb ads.
Yeah.
And I was looking at my Facebook memories and remember Netflix a couple years ago had like Netflix Live, and it was just people in the office working.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, I watched it for way too long.
That's hilarious.
Literally just people walking around an office working. Netflix Live.
Kind of like the video recordings of our podcast.
True. It's true. It's fine. It's fine. Make them sound more exciting, Brandon. That's fine.
Yeah, really sell it. Hold on. You can't tell, but I'm doing a handstand right now. Unless you go support us on Patreon.
He's going to say, unless you go subscribe.
Yeah. Listen, a lot of that
freaking Twitch channel now.
Well, and a lot of that stuff just gets like, you hear it so many times, it gets like, like drilled into your mind. It's like I think I've said this before. I'm almost certain I have actually, but Bradley and I's niece, when she was little, she's not 10 right now, and this was probably 5 years ago, so little. And she literally was just recording a video on one of our phones, like she wasn't on Facebook or anything, or YouTube, and she was like, "Hi, drop a like in the comments below."
Comments below.
Yeah. Smash that like button, Too
much YouTube kids.
Exactly.
I was trying to watch a live video from, she has like this chick that I watch that does body art, and she does mostly Twitch streams now, and I had to stop because she was like, "Thanks so and so for subscribing." I'm like, oh my god, please, just why do you have to stop in the middle of your story? We can see it on the screen. They'll be fine.
It's like a certain thing of like engagement, like with people makes them more likely to give you money, I guess. Anyway,
hear your story.
Let's not give away all of our secrets when we eventually do a live.
Listen, I think we should start a Twitch and just play like ghost related games.
I think that would be fantastic.
Even just if they're like the shittiest ghost games.
Listen, there is a game that I would love to play with you. I haven't played it since like
the very one we talked about.
Which one?
I think we talked about this one. The one where you like ghost hunters.
No. It's not a new game.
Oh, okay.
I haven't played it since I was like the very first semester I went to college right out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I had this friend who I would go and play it over at his house, and even then it was an old game, but it's one of those point and click mystery games, and it's called Scratches.
Oh
yeah, listen.
Oh,
we got to play that at some point.
Yeah, we just need to play like horror games
for sure. We're gonna do it.
Me going, I don't want to do this.
That's the best part. Like, that's the reaction.
Hannah's not playing today. She's just watching because she's a giant.
That's the reactions though that people watch for. So
jump scare, and I'm like, fine.
What have you been up to the past week? Have you indulged in anything spooky or horror related?
Listen, not really. It's been a really boring week, I guess. We went and saw Spider-Man this weekend.
Yeah.
It
And you
was
loved
really
it?
good. Last weekend we saw Batman.
Still need to watch that. We were supposed to see that together.
I know. I was like, we went and watched it in a different town, and I was like, oh, Brandon's gonna be pissed.
Not pissed.
It was
I do
really
want to see
good.
it. Yeah. I've
It's
heard really
really
good
good.
things about it.
I was surprised. I was not expecting much. We ended it, and I was like, oh shit.
You know what? I
That's
find that
great.
interesting. Like people that haven't seen a lot of Robert Pattinson's like movies since Twilight
Right.
are like surprised that he's a good actor, but like
He's a good actor.
he's such a good actor.
And they just did a really good job with the story,
Yeah.
and the sets were very reminiscent of Tim Burton's sets,
Hmm.
but a little more edgy.
Yeah.
And it was good. Edgy
Good.
Batman. Tyler was worried about how edgy he was. He's like, oh, that's a bit much.
He is
It
an
was good.
edgelord though. Like he's always brooding.
Yeah. Yeah. Tyler, yeah. Don't tell him about that because
Even in the
really loves
animated
him.
stuff, he's always like vengeance.
Not even a spoiler, just a funny thing is he says something about being vengeance, and then Catwoman calls him vengeance the rest of the time. Like, hey,
Nice.
vengeance. Yeah.
Nice. I'm vengeance. Yeah,
And
he
I
does.
was worried about Catwoman too because she's like my favorite Batman character.
Well, she's a good
So I'm
actress
always
too.
worried what they're gonna. She is. I was
That's
really
Lenny
worried what they're
Kravitz's
gonna
daughter.
do. Yep. She did a great job. It was really good.
She's good. I haven't really watched a whole lot. Well, Bradley finally decided he wanted to watch Lord of the Rings. So
Ooh,
yeah, so
that's like a solid weekend.
we've already watched the first two, and they're the extended versions.
Nice.
So
I need
you
to
know.
watch the second and third Hobbit movie.
You can skip them.
I want to.
They're not that great. But you know what I realized? What was it that we were watching? Oh, I realized a lot of the stuff that I like got into in my early mid-20s, like in the heyday of Tumblr and stuff, was a lot more horror inspired than I remembered. Because Bradley's also been watching Doctor Who, which is, one of my favorite shows. And all of the really good episodes are horror episodes. Like the Weeping Angels, the Silence, the planet called Midnight.
I need to try harder to get in Doctor Who.
It takes some effort because the first season that they brought it back, it was very low budget, but
yeah,
it's a cultural thing, and I think that for people that haven't seen it, they kind of have an idea of what it is, but it has its moments where it's corny, but it's such a good show. Such a good show.
Oh, I've been watching one of the newer Scooby-Doo shows because I'm an adult.
Nice.
It's on HBO. It's like Be Cool Scooby-Doo. It's actually really good. It's really reminiscent of the old stuff. Like they're all dudes in masks, but it's a lot goofier. And
I saw this thing on TikTok the other day that I meant to
Fred.
send you, and I did not send it to you, but it was from some kind of horror convention or something. And this person had made like a life-size diorama of like the characters from Scooby-Doo, but they were all zombies. And so like Fred like had no lower jaw, and like it was all bloody, and
yes. That was like my introduction into scary things. It was like Scooby-Doo, and
then Simple Plan did the most amazing
Courage
song.
the Cowardly Dog. Oh my god.
That
show is
coming
not
after
great.
You, gonna solve that mystery.
It's the only reason Brayden watched that show.
It's still a banger to this day. But the only other thing I was going to say was, and I realized watching Lord of the Rings that a lot of the parts of Lord of the Rings are horror.
Oh yeah,
like
freaking orcs are.
Yeah.
I love the scene where they're being created and they're freaking like birthing themselves, and
they're being pulled out of like the earth placentas.
I love that scene.
It's badass. Plus the music in those movies, like John Williams is like
the best.
Oh my god. And that dun 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 dun. Like,
I need to
oh, it's
rewatch them. It's been so long, but I watched them so much as a kid that I
yeah,
needed a little bit of a break.
they're perfect though. If you got listen, if anybody is listening to this and you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, first of all, what the fuck are you doing? Secondly, go watch it right now.
Right? Who are you? What is wrong with you?
Who are you?
The soundtrack for Batman is it's beautiful. It was fantastic. It was really well done.
Nice.
Ooh, we're gonna need it on vinyl because it was beautiful.
Is it like a soundtrack or is it a score?
So it's both. Some of
Okay.
it is scored and some of it is soundtrack.
Nice.
So like intro is Nirvana.
Yeah, something in the way. Which is funny because people have memed that on TikTok, and like one of the really popular ones is like something's in my ass.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was beautiful though. Like the score and the soundtrack were fantastic. Yeah, they did a good job.
That's one of my like top 5 Nirvana songs. So I'm glad to see it used that way, but I'm also sad that it's being memed. But anyway, let's talk about some spooky shit. You ready?
Since we didn't watch anything spooky this week. I mean,
Yeah. We know what you guys are here for. It's not just Hannah's boobs.
They're usually shrouded in black, so you can't really see them, but okay.
No, just kidding. They're always out. And sometimes she wears like a 2-piece bikini. So go subscribe to Patreon. JK.
Basically just like a hot tub stream.
Yeah, you won't know if I'm kidding or not unless you go subscribe on Patreon.
Watch every single episode.
Yes. You never know which ones she's gonna have a wardrobe malfunction on, you know?
My entire family that listens to this is like cringing so hard right now.
Sorry guys. Just don't subscribe. Okay. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about a Cherokee folk legend.
Ooh.
And it is the legend of Spearfinger.
Ooh.
You ever heard about this?
I have.
You have?
Freaks me the fuck out. Yes.
Good. Okay, cool. Like I like telling you about things that you've not heard about, but I also like telling you things that you have heard about. So I'm getting
like our episode of Hannah Did You Know, where I'm just like, but did you know? Because I know about all of this.
Yeah. Listen, we did 3 of those, I think. So 90% of the information that I'm reading you today is coming from pidlin.com, your gateway to the Smoky Mountains. And let's just get right into it. There are over 200 cemeteries throughout the ridges and valleys of the Great Smoky Mountains. They are hidden in the backwoods and down lonesome trails, out of sight but not quite out of mind, with hundreds of miles of trails and wooded hidden places where no human hand has touched in ages, if ever. It's here in the wilderness where the legends still live and thrive out of sight of the normal daily lives of the people who travel through on their way to the unforgettable vacation experience. But here they are hidden, rarely coming to light. They're hidden in places where if you pass by, a chill will slither down your spine. When they do come out of the shadows and into the light, it's something never to be forgotten. One of the oldest legends of the Smoky Mountains is the legend of Spearfinger. Spearfinger is a Cherokee legend that lived along the eastern side of Tennessee and western North Carolina in the Great Smoky Mountains. Her Cherokee name, which I will butcher, Utlunta, translates to "she had it sharp." It's talking about her sharp finger on her right hand, which gives her the name Spearfinger. Sometimes, just the one sharp finger.
I mean, you have to be able to eat and wipe your butt, so that's
Sometimes she was referred to by her other Cherokee name, Nunyuni. This means stone dress, a name taken from her stone-like skin.
Ooh.
The forefinger of her right hand is her sharp finger. Using it to cut her victims, the sharp finger resembles a spear or obsidian knife. With a mouth stained with the blood of the livers she ate from her victims, she was a horrific sight that sent chills throughout the mountains. Her evil heart was hidden in her right hand and was her only weak spot. Therefore, she kept it clutched tightly to protect it.
Mm.
Being made of stone, she had to make sure the heart in her hand was never exposed to danger. Since she was made of stone, she sounded like rolling thunder when she walked. She crushed rocks and boulders into the ground. Her voice bounced off the mountains and echoed down the valleys into the villages. It would send the birds flying into the sky. When the birds flocked to the sky, the village people took it as a warning that Spearfinger was on the move. I love shit like this. God,
Yeah,
I
I
love
like
this so
that
much.
it made it sound like rolling thunder.
Yes.
It's fucking
Spearfinger got
wicked.
her stone clothes when she upset the higher beings because she came too close to their place of residence when she built a rock bridge, the tree rock that spanned up through the air toward them. To show her she was being too arrogant to try to come up to their level, the higher beings struck the bridge down in a powerful bolt of lightning, causing the bridge to crumble down upon Spearfinger and cloaking her body out in rock and rubble.
That's some real weird god shit right there.
Right? Yeah. Years ago, the Cherokee pinpointed a location where the ruins of Spearfinger's tree rock remain in Blount County, Tennessee. They named the area Nantahala. The Cherokee name for the place is Utluntunyi, which means the Spearfinger place. She not only has her Spearfinger, which she uses to spear her victims, she has the ability to shapeshift into the family members of her child victims.
Oh.
But when she is in a different shape, she can't shift back into her stone form if she is in sight of another. Her normal shape shifting form is that of an old lady, one whom the children know and don't fear. One of her strengths is that being made of stone, arrows couldn't pierce her skin. They bounced off, falling to the ground, or they shattered into tiny pieces. Spearfinger can pick up rocks and boulders without effort. She can break them into gravel, stack them to build barriers, and morph them together to create even larger boulders to then roll down the mountain, causing havoc and damage.
She's like a rock spirit.
For real. Spearfinger used the customs of the Cherokee to help her in her search for victims with fresh livers. In the fall, Cherokee tribes would set brush fires, which guided Spearfinger to the villages where she could hunt. The fires would cover the mountainside so the tribe could collect the fallen chestnuts. These were already roasted from the brush fire. Spearfinger also took advantage of the clouds of smoke that rose from the valleys. The swirling fogs gave the Smoky Mountains their name. She would use them for cover when she would hunt the children, those who sometimes came to drink from a stream or pick strawberries as they grew wild on the mountainside. She would use her talent of shapeshifting to sometimes turn into her victim. She would hide the body if it passed on soon after she took the liver. Then she would enter their family home to wait until the family slept. This was so she could take all of their livers. Spearfinger was the boogeyman of the time. Parents would warn children not to go into the woods at night in case Spearfinger would get them. They made sure the children knew the monster could show herself as their grandmother or their aunt. This way, they never knew if it was a family member or the monster.
Ooh. Jesus. Okay, Spearfinger.
This kind of thing is like something we've talked about before, where like the lore is so specific. It's like it's hard to imagine that there's no basis in reality at all.
Right.
You know, like obviously we know how legends get blown out of proportion over time, but like this is so specific. Like some of it had to be based in some kind of reality. And if that's the case, even if this was just a crazy lady, like taking people's livers, that's fucking scary.
Listen, she sounds like she needed a multivitamin, a hug.
She had an iron
Some
deficiency.
moisturizer. Saying.
You got a point. Hunters alone in the woods were overly cautious, often seeing an old woman with a deformed hand slinking through the thick woods, singing her songs of the forest. When she would sing, the hunters would run back to their camps. Cherokee lore states that Spearfinger stabs her victims in the back of the neck or through their heart. Then she draws out their livers. She's quick about it, no chance to get away if she gets close enough. Victims don't feel the wound, and she doesn't leave a scar. However, it only takes a few days for the victim to die due to lack of a liver. Let's see, there's a lot of information here, and I'm trying to pick and choose what I include. Spearfinger only has one enemy other than the human she stalks, and that's the stone man. Made of the same stuff as she, they can sense when the other's nearby. They are enemies because they hunt the same food, livers. But Stone Man doesn't need to lift stones to build things. He has stronger powers than Spearfinger. He uses his staff to create bridges from mountain to mountain. The Cherokee,
the reasoning for all the natural bridges,
the land bridges, yeah,
in the mountains.
That makes sense to me. Like, like Natural Bridge and Red River Gorge or whatever. Is that where it is?
Yeah, Sky Bridge and Natural Bridge are both in Red River Gorge. They're pretty cool.
The Cherokee called a council to try to figure out how to get rid of Spearfinger once and for all. So the surrounding villages all came to the council to discuss how this could be done. They knew about her finger. They knew about her finger and made a plan to attract her. They dug a pit.
Her name is Spearfinger.
Yeah, it's like, hold on.
Why did they call you that? She's like, bitches.
I don't know. They dug a pit and covered it with branches to camouflage it, and then they set the fires like they normally did to harvest chestnuts, knowing it would draw her down as he searched for the blood of new livers. When Spearfinger saw the smoke of the fire, she came down from the mountain, crushing the ground beneath her as she ran. When she got there, she hid her Spearfinger under her cloak. She appeared as an old woman, confusing the men. She called to them for help, walking hunched over, hiding her Spearfinger, trying to lure them closer. When they finally saw through her ruse, the tribal members, not knowing how to kill her, fired their arrows, but they all shattered, falling to the ground. Spearfinger
rocks, bitch.
Yeah, like, damn. And this bitch could have been just taken down completely with like a steel sword or something, or like a hammer. Y'all didn't have hammers? A pickaxe?
A pickaxe.
Spearfinger raged against them, running at them with her sharp finger, slashing. She fell into the pit, but the stakes that lined the inside shattered when she fell against them, her stony skin not pierced by the sharp ends. They fired more arrows into the pit, and she swatted them away like fireflies in the night. Birds came down from the sky to help. A titmouse tried to help, its song calling, heart, heart, heart. Okay. The hunters aimed for Spearfinger's heart, but they aimed for her chest, not her hand, where her heart was secretly hidden. The arrows did no good, but they did cut the tongue out of the titmouse's beak.
Jesus.
Since that time, when someone sees a titmouse and its short tongue, they can tell it's a liar and did not speak the truth. The little bird. Yeah. The little bird. It
didn't lie, though.
The little bird didn't lie on purpose. He just didn't say where the heart was. The titmouse flew back up to the sky into the heavens, never to return.
Poor little titmouse.
Then a chickadee came and landed on Spearfinger's right hand, the hand protecting the heart, which had the spear for a finger. Spearfinger began to quake, scared now that the hunters had learned her secret hiding place for her heart. The hunters took that as a sign and decided to aim for the hand. One arrow struck her in the wrist, where her right hand joined her arm. This separated her heart from her body, bringing her to her knees. She slowly sank to the ground, her Spearfinger twitching, and then she collapsed into a heap of stones. The curse of Spearfinger had come to an end. Stone Man, Spearfinger's liver-eating cohort, heard the cheers of the hunters when Spearfinger collapsed. When he peered over the mountainside, he saw her right hand mounted high on a post, but beside the entrance to the village. This was a warning to him. He considered it, but no one knew his one weakness, so he shrugged it off. He's like, okay, big deal. They don't know how to kill me. The villagers couldn't know what would put an end to his reign. He moved along and continued to sing his song of hunting livers and rumbling war.
No big deal.
So, if you're in the Great Smoky Mountains and you hear rumbling with no clouds overhead, it may just be Stone Man stomping through the valleys and over the ridges singing his song. If you like to hike in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park and you like a bit of ghostly tales that surround parts of it, a great place to hike is along the Norton Creek Trail in the Lake Fontana area. This area is probably the spookiest of all in the Great Smoky Mountains. It's a place where Spearfinger used to roam, and also Stone Man still walks the hills there. There, you can take a long hike into the woods and roam around crumbling pioneer ruins, and over 200 cemeteries dot the mountainside, silently waiting for visitors. It's said if you walk the Norton Creek Trail, you might witness a ghostly light floating in the woods. If you're lost or just have a question on your way, this light supposedly will lead you back to safety. It's one of the tales of the Fontana area that deals with a farmer whose daughter was lost and disappeared, and he went to search for her, disappearing as he carried a lantern throughout the night. The farmer will lead you out of the woods to the trailhead so you can get back to safety.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you're ever in the area, remember the tale of the Spearfinger and her bloodstained mouth from eating the livers of her victims. Stone Man, who wanders the mountain still, and all of the people who came before lived and died here in the mountains. Who knows, he'll still wanders these forests and valleys looking for something they lost long ago.
Listen, I don't know why Stone Man thinks he's so much better. Like, what's your damn problem, dude?
Yeah, what's your weakness? Your fucking sack that hangs down unprotected?
Probably. Tends to be. Yeah. Stone Man sounds like kind of a dick.
Yeah. But yeah. Spearfinger.
We're basically the same, but I'm better than you.
Yeah, and I'm stronger because I'm a man and you're a stone woman.
You got a bitch.
Yeah, that's Spearfinger, guys.
It's creepy as fuck.
Listen,
I would have been terrified of that as a kid, especially like walking around in the woods.
Oh, absolutely. And I said this before when we talked about the Devil's Backbone. I love Native American folklore. It is some of the most terrifying shit. And you know why? Because they lived in nature for so long. Like, they saw parts of the woods that I bet people haven't seen, even to this day, for like hundreds of years.
They know way more than we do.
Oh, for sure. And
I'd be way more afraid of everything.
Yeah. So when you hear these stories of shit, you're like, it's not some like, I mean, we've talked about before too, how like some like British like folk tales are just really lame and corny. Like, oh, here comes Jack Mushroom Head. He likes to dance on people's doorsteps and leave onions. It's never.
I saw something last night that was like, I was researching werewolves in Scotland and found this one who had the body of a human and the head of a wolf, and it just leaves food on the poor settlers.
That's literally the kind of shit I'm talking about.
Listen, though, if I was a werewolf and everybody was afraid of me, I'd do shit like that too. But like, don't fuck with these poor people. I'll fuck with you. You
could be like the Rougarou and get foiled by counting.
13. Cannot count to 13. It's an issue.
For sure.
I'm trying to make pasta, getting fucked up by my colander.
We are still waiting for stories.
I know. I think I'm going to need to post on Facebook to all our lovely new listeners and be like, "Go them."
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Like we say every time, we love the listener stories episodes. You guys love them. Send us your stories. You can send them to us at
on Gmail, GhostWrittenPodcast@gmail.com, or we have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at GhostWrittenPod.
Listen, I just want to point something out to you guys.
What?
To our beautiful listeners. Um, there was a point last year, where Hannah was like, "Hey, do you want to record at the normal time today?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool, 2:30, right?" And she's like, "No, we always record at 2. How do you not know it's 2? It's
Listen,
always the
bitch.
same time." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm so forgetful." Today, I was like, "Hey, Hannah, you want to record?" And she's like, "Yeah, what time?" And I was like, "Normal time." And she's like, "2 question mark?" I was like, "This bitch."
Listen, no, at that point we've been recording every single week on Sunday at 2. And we're procrastinators and we've been deviating from the schedule. And
Fair.
sometimes we record on Mondays, sometimes we record on Tuesdays, and
Fair.
that just depends on what time we're home from work.
Fair.
I was
However,
like, what, we're gonna do a Sunday? Fuck.
however, it just felt like vindication for me.
It's fine. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair.
But yeah, in addition to the places Hannah mentioned that you could reach us, you should also check us out on Patreon.
Patreon.com/GhostWritten.
Yeah, we've got 2 tiers. They are both very cheap, and all the money that we get from Patreon goes back into the show. And we've mentioned before that we kind of want to upgrade our setup a little bit now that we're close enough to record in person.
Yep.
Every week. So if you like the show and you only want the quality to get better, then check us out on Patreon. We do provide some exclusive bonus content over there that's only for our patrons, and we record video of every episode regardless. So if you do want to see our faces and the stupid shit that we do looking at each other every episode, that you can subscribe and just get those, or you can subscribe to the other tier and get everything. So and as we've said before, as the podcast grows, we do want to do more with it. Listen, I want ghostwritten merch as bad as everyone else does. So if we ever get to the point where it is feasible for us to make merchandise for the podcast, best believe we're going to be doing it. So the best way to make sure we reach that point is to support us in whatever way you can. We understand not everybody can give on Patreon, so whatever platform you're listening on, just give us a nice review, a good rating, a follow, tell your friends about us. Yeah, just do what you can if you want to. If you don't, then fuck off. Why are you even listening? But
Jesus. Sorry, Brandon gets really aggressive sometimes. It's fine.
Yeah, but it's like, you're if you don't care about the podcast, then you're wasting your time and ours. So
every week listening going, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, like I'm just trying to help you. Come on. But yeah, guys, thanks again for listening. We look forward to talking to you guys next week, and I think it's that time.
That time.
Ooh.